Today, we are going on a journey, 1,000 years into the future, of us. Where are we as a species actually headed? Well, let me tell you, the answers are probably way more shocking and profound than you can even imagine. So let's just kick things off with the biggest question right off the bat. Is human evolution over? I mean, with modern medicine and all our tech, it's easy to think that whole survival of the fittest game is done, that we've just stopped evolving.
After all, when we think about evolution, we're usually looking backwards, right? We think about how over millennia, our body hair decreased, how our jaws got smaller as our diets changed, and of course, the big one, how our brains grew larger, giving us this massive cognitive advantage. It feels like a story that's already been written, but it's not even close. Here is the absolute, critical truth. Evolution never, ever stops. What's happened is that the engine driving it has changed. Natural selection isn't the only game in town anymore, and we're the ones who just put the key in the ignition of a brand new one. So here's the roadmap for this deep dive. First, we'll look at the new rules of evolution. Then we'll explore what our bodies might look like in 1,000 years. After that, we dive into the mind-AI merge. And finally, we'll tackle the huge philosophical questions of digital immortality and whether we're even built for eternity. Okay, so for millions of years, nature wrote the rules. Nature was in charge. But now, for the first time in the history of life on Earth, a species is grabbing the pen. We are literally moving out of an era of natural selection and into an era of technological selection. And just look at the difference here. It's staggering. Classic evolution, that was a slow, grinding process, driven by the environment over millions of years. Today's evolution, it's happening at lightning speed, driven by our own culture and our technology over just a few decades. So the most crucial point is this. The very definition of survival has completely flipped on its head. It's not about being the strongest anymore. It's about your mental flexibility. How fast can you learn, unlearn, and adapt to a world that is constantly changing under your feet? So, if the rules have changed, how is that going to literally reshape our bodies? Let's take a look at a potential blueprint for the human form 1,000 years from now. All right, first up, we can probably expect weaker muscles and bones. As automation and AI do all the heavy lifting, the need for raw physical strength just disappears. We don't need the brute force of our ancient ancestors, and our descendants probably won't need ours. Our hands are going to change too. Think about it. We're moving away from a world of physical tools and into a world of touch screens, keyboards, and maybe even neural interfaces. The pressure is on for fine motor skills, meaning our hands will evolve for incredible precision, not for power. And what about our eyes? Well, they might evolve to process a reality that's constantly augmented with digital information. Imagine seamlessly seeing data overlays integrated right into your field of vision. And our tech is going to redesign us from the inside out. As our diet shifts to things like hyper-efficient, lab-grown foods or nutrient paste, our long, complicated digestive systems might just become obsolete. Our guts could actually get shorter, a direct biological result of our technology. But as absolutely radical as those physical changes sound, they are nothing, and I mean nothing, compared to the evolution that's happening right now inside our skulls. You see, the key idea here isn't a bigger brain, but a rewired one. Our minds are evolving. They're changing from being biological hard drives, just storing information, into becoming incredibly powerful processing hubs, masters at accessing and filtering these huge external networks of information. Memorization becomes less important. Connection becomes everything. And this is the toolkit that makes it all possible. Brain-computer interfaces, systems you control with your thoughts, digital backups of your memories, instant access to all of humanity's knowledge. This isn't science fiction anymore. This is the blueprint for a true human-AI hybrid. Which leads us to a seriously dizzying question. Once we merge that deeply with our technology, are we still human? Are we Homo sapiens? Or have we become something else? Just a biological front end for a much larger artificial intelligence?
And now we arrive at the ultimate expression of our evolution, the quest to leave our fragile biological bodies behind and to conquer death itself.
The leading scientific idea for how to do this is called whole brain emulation. The concept is to map everything, all 86 billion neurons and their trillions of connections, and then create a perfect simulation of that map inside a supercomputer. In theory, your memories could make that jump. At their core, they're just incredibly complex data patterns. So if you can map the structure perfectly, you can copy the data. But there is a massive, monumental catch. What about feelings? Love, fear, joy. These aren't just abstract data points. They're profoundly physical. They're tied to hormones, to a racing heart, to that pit in your stomach. Can you really, truly upload the feeling of love without a body to actually feel it in? And this is the point. This is where the hard certainties of science have to take a step back and philosophy has to step in. We can argue all day about how to transfer the data, but what the conscious experience is, well, that's a whole other universe. This brings us to the absolutely terrifying paradox known as the copy problem. Okay, let's say it works. A consciousness with all of your memories, all of your thoughts, wakes up inside the machine. Is that you? Or did the original you die on the operating table, leaving a perfect digital ghost who only thinks it's you to carry on? But okay, let's push past that. Let's imagine for a second we solve the copy problem. We achieve true digital immortality. A new and maybe even more chilling question comes up. Should we even want it? Just look at the potential side effects of infinity. So much of our meaning, our sense of urgency, comes from the fact that our time is limited. Love is precious, grief is powerful, because things end. An endless existence could just lead to a crushing sense of meaninglessness and an absolutely unbearable existential exhaustion. Which leads to this really chilling thought. What if mortality isn't a flaw we need to fix? What if death is actually a necessary safety switch designed to protect consciousness from the crushing, unbearable weight of infinity? So, as we start to wrap this up, let's just take a second to absorb the sheer magnitude of this moment. After billions of years of evolution playing by nature's rules, one species, us, is now consciously taking the controls and designing its own future. And because we're the ones in the driver's seat now, the most important question is no longer how will humans evolve, but given the choice to become something more, will we even want to remain human at all? And that brings us to the final, ultimate question, looking past all the tech, past the biology, looking deep into the nature of who we are. Is the human mind, as it exists right now, even capable of handling infinity? Something to think about.